Hey, what's up, people? Okay, so I am so very tired today. God, dude, man, whoa, man, talk about tired, bruh. I am trudging on, okay, but I mean barely. Like, I drank my coffee. You know, some of them days the coffee just don't do the trick. You're just that tired. Worked my ass off at work. I work so hard. I just Oh God, I'm that guy, you know. I work so extra hard. I work like so fast, and I just do too much, honestly, at work to where even it's a 4-hour shift, but it's God, it feels like way more than 4 hours. It's like 6 hours of work of intense. I work no breaks. Well, we get a 10-minute break every at the third hour, but no lunch break, whatever. I mean, it's it's intense. Work at UPS. It's intense, baby. So anyway, here we are. We're here. We're we're live, baby. At the third hour. We're live, baby. No lunch break, whatever. I mean, blah 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 blah. It's there he is. All right. So picking up where we left off, which was So, day before yesterday, we continued working on solution for save file formats and data retrieval slash save logic. Okay. Working on solution for save file formats and data retrieval save logic. Okay. And then we stopped at line 335 in client refactor. All right. Yeah, so that's pretty straightforward. Okay, yeah, so I remember exactly where we were. As a matter of fact, as a matter of actual facts, factually speaking, I remember exactly what we were doing. Because hey, guess what? It was me. It was only me. I was the only one doing it, and I remember. So this is where we stopped. I put a note here. It says need to figure out if I'm going to use JSON or a buffered with empty space pickle solution for the save file. I like to say PKL. It just makes me feel smart, but pickle is the actual word. It's the actual format. It's called pickle, but the extension is .pkl. Anyway, so long story short, we are at not an impasse. We are at a crossroads, wherein I have to figure out how I'm going to implement the save system. Basically, what format of saving are we going to use? Are we going to use pickle or JSON? JSON has the benefit of being able to use it as a dictionary in like plain English slash Python. It's very straightforward. Anyway, it's not like, hard to use to implement. The only thing is it's about 4 to 5 times slower than pickle. Pickle's super fast because it's written in bytecode, not bytecode, but byte stream. So yeah, if you know, you know. If you don't, then hey, figure it out. I don't know what to tell you. So let's jump over to the code. We have stop here. Need to figure out if I'm going to use JSON or buffer. So we're debating on two different things here. Basically, the only way that we can use PKL, let me pull up Claude here to ask Claude some questions, is our problem is this. We're going to use the offset of the file, which is basically the byte location inside of the file, to act as an index to reference the different objects in the pickle file. But the issue with that is that the offsets will change. They will not remain the same. The only way that they would remain the same is if we were to basically give extra space to each object as a buffer, so that if we change object 1 to be larger from like 30 bytes to 60 bytes, that it wouldn't start to overwrite the second object, which would have started at that 31 offset, which now 31 through 60 is going to be occupied by the new object 1's extended size. So anyway, I'm sure you understand that. That means every time we overwrote an object with a larger, we would have to overwrite the subsequent objects, etc., etc. And you know, just checking for like to see if the object is bigger and all this stuff, using that versus JSON, like just the logic itself would probably already make it maybe slower than JSON. So like pretty much our only option to have a faster pickle option would be to use a buffered system with the offsets. But the issue with that is like byte size, right? So we have byte sizes that vary, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know exactly, but that's what I'm about to figure out, is how varying are the byte sizes. Like you're gonna have an 8, like if it's a single digit integer, it's gonna be like 8 bytes. And then if we have you know, a dictionary with like 30, 40 entries in it, which we do have sometimes, then does that mean you know, how big is that object going to be, etc., etc. So that's what we need to figure out, to see if the buffer option is like viable, or if it's not really viable. You know what I'm saying? So like we could know based on the object type, based on its location, how much space it's going to take up, you know, sort of thing, because our goal would be to have each, like the order in the pickle file remain the same. You know, like object 1 is always game ID, object 2 is always offset dictionary, object 3 is always whatever, X, and then Y, and then Z, so that order remains the same. It never put Z first and then game ID second. It would always remain the same. So in that case, we would know once we added it the first time what type of object it would be. But you know, object values vary. Like sometimes it might be none, and then other times it might be a long dictionary, you know. So like that's really the question. So let's go ahead and ask this. So Python, how large is the difference in byte size between small simple objects like integer variables, let's just say single digit integer variables, versus something like a large dictionary, and we'll just say like with 50 key value pairs. So yeah, that's kind of like matters, and I'm pretty sure the difference is going to be too big for us to like use it to end up using this system. See, so let's see what we got. Claude says, let me write a simple Python script. Yeah, we don't need that. I just want you to answer the question. Sorry about that. Should have specified there. Don't write a script, just give me the answer, boss. When you run this script, you'll see that the size differences are quite significant. Here are the typical results. Small integers typically use 24 to 28 bytes, okay? Floats use around 24 bytes. Empty strings use about 49 bytes. Short strings like hello use 54 bytes. Empty containers, list set use around 48 to 224 bytes. A dictionary with 50 items uses about 2,816 bytes. A list with 50 items uses about 472 bytes. A set with 50 items uses about 2,280. Even small integers have a significant overhead in Python due to object metadata. Dictionary have the largest overhead per item due to their hash table implementation. Lists are the most memory efficient for storing multiple items. Gotcha, babe. Gotcha. Okay, so basically, after reading that, I'm just like, I think that the offset system would just be too complicated. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like that's too much work. It's gonna be hard for us to implement that. Um, yeah, straight up, it's not gonna be easy to do. It would be very difficult to, like, we would have to first save the object, you know, and we're dealing with a large range of objects here. We're dealing with frickin' just a lot of stuff, you know. We're dealing with a lot of things. I know when we like receive certain data, some of that data is big dictionaries, like a dictionary with 50 values in it. So we would be dealing with a variation, you know, start the low end being 24, varying degree of bytes sizes from 24 all the way up to over 2000. So like, you know, we're not gonna have an integer buffer to a 2000 byte size. But here's the thing, we have, let's think about this. We have the object type initially assigned, right? So lots of times, most of the time, we're gonna know what the object type is. You know, like this one is gonna be a string. Game ID is gonna be a single digit integer. Like we're gonna know, and we could buffer based on that. But the thing is, not all of them are like that, you know? When I say not all of them are like that, I feel like, what if the first time we save the object, it's none, and then the second time we save the object, it's not none, it's a large dictionary, and then we buffered based on none size by size, but now we have to buffer based on the let's just say large dictionary size, 2000 bytes. So then we're gonna want to add a buffer of a couple hundred bytes or something like that, whatever, to, you know, ensure that it's not gonna be too big to write the next object in line. And also, it would probably could impede performance because we would have to traverse further. I don't really know how much overhead that would add in, but I'm not going down like that rabbit hole because that's really complicated. That's a lot of work. It's basically implementing, it's like a whole like library we're talking about here, you know what I mean? And well, there actually is that library, isn't there? I'm an idiot. So, well, I'm not an idiot because I didn't know about the offset issue until last time, and then the offset thing would have worked better than shelve. But I forgot about this. Isn't there a pickle library called shelve that works similar to the dict style access JSON uses? Yes, the shelve module in Python provides a dictionary-like interface to persistently store Python objects, similar to how you might work with JSON, but with some key advantages. Let me show you how it works. So the key difference between shelve and JSON advantages of shelve is can store any Python object that can be pickled, including date, time, custom classes, etc., which I'm guessing JSON couldn't do. Provides direct dictionary-like access, baby. Then it also handles large datasets more efficiently as it doesn't need to load everything into memory. Provides direct dictionary-like handles large datasets more efficiently as it doesn't need to load everything into memory. Automatically handles serialization and deserialization. Limitations of shelve files platform dependent. They're not as portable as JSON. Security concerns. People can execute arbitrary code. Keys must be strings. need to be careful with concurrent access. Be careful with concurrent access. Changes to mutable objects require reassignment to persist. Concurrent access. So we're talking about like race conditioning here. Concurrent means like at the same time, right? So what do they mean by that? Important usage: always use with the context manager with statement to ensure proper closing. The file created will have extensions like db, dat, or dir depending on your system. Especially when using it in a production environment, as people can be security risk. Would you like to demonstrate a specific operation with shells that can handle more complex data structures? Oh yeah, right. Is the performance of shelf better than JSON? I mean, because if it's not, then we just use JSON. Because there's overhead, obviously, added onto Pickle to use this database data or dir. So it's creating a performance comparison test between shelf and JSON for different operations, and you can see that Claude is pretty fast at coding, pretty freaking awesome. It did all that immediately, absolutely insane. Anyway, after running this benchmark, here are the key findings. Write performance: JSON is generally faster for bulk writes. Shelf has more overhead due to its database-like structure. The difference becomes more noticeable with larger datasets. And then read performance: JSON is faster for reading the entire dataset at once. It's because JSON loads everything into memory at once. Shelf has to deserialize each object individually. A single item access: Shelf performs better for individual item access. This is where Shelf shines. It only loads what you need. JSON requires loading the entire file to access one item. The main performance advantages of Shelf are memory efficient, doesn't load an entire dataset, better for random access of individual items, and good for very large datasets that don't fit in memory. JSON is better when you need to read-write the entire dataset frequently. The dataset is relatively small. You need platform independence. You're frequently serializing, deserializing the entire dataset. The choice between them often depends on your use case than pure performance. Shelf is particularly good for large datasets where you need random access to individual items, while JSON is better for smaller datasets that you handle as a whole. Okay, so after reading that, I am honestly of the opinion that I would probably be better off using JSON, well, actually Shelf, based on the description there, because if Shelf is better, if Shelf is better for individual item access, I think that's what I would need. I need to be able to access the individual items without necessarily loading in the entire file, because that's what the process is going to be. It's going to be probably another thread where the thread is a save thread, and that thread will constantly save the state of the game, and that means basically anytime a data point is changed in structure, we would save it to the save file. And the time that we're gonna load stuff in really is gonna be well, and that's for reading. Like, yeah, reading, like loading the data in. JSON is faster for reading the entire data set at once, but we don't need the entire data set, so that doesn't matter. So Shelf is probably faster for reading individual single item access, which is what it says here. Shelf performs better for individual item access, and then so on and so forth. Yeah, so I think honestly we would probably be better off using Shelf. We're not going to be doing bulk writes anyway. We're just going to be doing like small writes. Although it has more overhead, I don't know. It might be faster. For single item access, I'm guessing it's going to be faster if this said that it is. And let's see, what exactly did it use to like get this conclusion? Because it might be faulty. Random access performance 100 lookups. So this is a single access benchmark. It uses the 100 lookups and access results. Let's see. Let's go to the top here. Let's see a little bit. Okay, so we have show up JSON time, random daytime, import daytime, generate test data, num records, generate sample data, return F user. Okay, ID, name, email, score. So it's got all this stuff. Okay. Def benchmark write, data iterations 3, benchmark write operation, benchmark read operation, so we're not worried about that. Benchmark single access takes in data size and then the iteration is equal user I for I in range of data size. Okay. And then start equals, okay. I see. With show of open, test db as db for underscore and range of iterations equals random choice keys, item equals db at key. Right, that's the test database. Okay, gotcha. So then shelf time equals time dot time minus start. Okay, and then start equals time with open JSON. It's F equals JSON load F. Where iterations key equals random choice keys. Okay. Item equals data at key. Okay, and then we get the time. And what was their results? Well, I'm guessing. Well, let's copy and see. Let's go ahead and paste it in. So let's go over here to test reminders. This was another test, I think, that was made. We use to test the speed of JSON versus Pickle in general. Our next test segment is going to be down there. Let's go ahead and paste that code in. Alright, and we're not going to use like all of the tests. We're gonna use, I really just want to know the single access. But I guess we could just run the entire script. It's not a huge deal. It's not like it's going to take a year to run it. Okay, we have a syntax issue here. So let's go to 5894 and see what's up with that. Oh, so that needs to be commented out. Alright, so it's testing. Okay, so it actually worked without any bugs. Look at that. Good quantities. So testing with 100 records, write performance, shelf was 0.83.08 seconds. JSON, man, JSON's way faster. Holy shit. Way faster. How is that even right though? Because read performance, that is random access. Okay, so single access for 100 lookups. So So Jason was still faster. Am I reading something wrong here? Oh, right performance. That was right performance. Full read performance. Random access performance. But then it says, oh, it's testing with 1,000, so it's the same thing again, and then 10,000. Oh, it's still running the test. It hasn't finished yet. I see now. Gotcha. Okay, I was a little confused there. So the 100 with 100 objects, shelf writing was extremely slow compared to Jason. The read performance shelf was extremely slow, slightly slower than Jason. And then random access performance shelf was way slower. And then when we had 1,000, shelf was so slow. God damn. And read Jason shelf was so slow again. And then random access, it's it's worse overall. It didn't win in anything. So I don't know why Claude wrote it out such as that it did. Granted that I don't think Claude got this wrong here. As far as the code, like how it's written, I think that the test is, it seemed like correctly done. Yeah, it seemed correctly done. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, guys, we're just not gonna use shelf. We're not gonna use pickle. We're scrapping the idea. We're just gonna use Jason. Okay. How about that? How about that, babe? What you think? We're just gonna we're gonna scrap it, baby. No pickle. Only JSON. Because if and you look at this, okay? If and you look at this, let's see. Let me just make sure that it didn't like botch the test. So we're gonna start time, shelf, open test, DB is DB, range of iteration, key equals random choice keys. And yeah, we already looked at this. And then Jason, it does the same thing. There's literally like no difference. The syntax even is virtually the same. So it's really easy to spot like any procedural differences there. And pickle is so slow, it is not even gonna let you finish, because if it's doing shell first based on the write performance of 8.23 seconds for 1,000, then okay, it just finished. There we go. It just finished. The write performance for, oh man, oh, don't lie. Shelf is slow as fuck. It is. It's very slow. We are not gonna use shelf, boys. Yeah. We would really only be looking like the 100 record test would probably be better for what we're doing. Would be fitting if I understand what the 100 represents. So num records for I in range of num records. So when it does generate test data, isn't that what we? So we have size. We pass in size, and then we have size and data sizes. So yeah, it's generating a list of, it's creating a data set. It's creating this 100 times, and then 1,000 times, and then 10,000 times, which is a good bit of data. Uh, Even 1,000 that's a good bit of data. So a 100 would actually kind of even be on the higher end for what we're probably going to be handling. But with that said, even the 100 record performance comparison shows that Shelve got wrecked in write performance. It got wrecked in full read performance. It got wrecked in single access, random access performance. Yeah, point blank period, the end. Okay, so we're done with Pickle and Shelve. So I did my due diligence here, and I'm making the executive decision to scrap the idea of using Pickle. So we're gonna go over here, and we're gonna tell you what we're doing, which is scrapping Pickle. I'll actually add this in devlog, and I'll just put tested PKL versus JSON, specifically Shelve versus JSON, and JSON was way faster. Therefore, we are opting to use JSON instead of PKL altogether. So rest in peace. Salute to Pickle. I loved saying Pickle and PKL. I just liked saying it, and I'm not going to get to say it anymore because we're moving on to JSON. So now I get to say JSON a lot. JSON. Well, actually, we're still working on that. So we can still just like say that we did this in this little time frame. But we're still going to be working on the overall goal. So yeah, let's keep going here. We got 30 more minutes. I'm going to try to smash the remainder of the time that we have to ensure that we're productive and making... What did I do? I don't know. I did something. I feel like I did a bad thing. I hit the wrong button. Hit home or something? I don't know. All right, baby. So, let's figure it out. Oh yeah, we also had a git error at the end of the session. Allowed us to add commit but couldn't push to remote repo. Did we fix that? No, we didn't. Oh shit. Alright, so let's do git branch. Okay, so we're on the Craig branch, baby. We're on the root branch of the project. Let's try to do git add dot git commit dash m, and we're just gonna say test to see if I don't even need to do that. I'm an idiot. Can I just do git push? Because I'm already like I already have stuff staged and everything and committed, so it should already push. Okay, so it worked. Okay, well, there we go. So it worked, boys. All right, cool. Well, I don't know what was up with that bug. That maybe it was the internet thing. Whatever. Yeah, I don't worry about it. If it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so now we're back to the client refactor beginning section. Finish beginning section final form. Start line 333 in. Okay, so we're gonna say implement JSON save system instead of PKL, since we determined that PKL, aka shelve library, is way slower than JSON despite PKL being faster in its original form. Yeah, so we're moving on. We're doing JSON, so let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna actually change this. I can keep this as notes. I was gonna say, here's what we'll do. We're gonna, well, it's already, no, it's not actually. We'll comment this all out. Oh, that doesn't work because it's not a Python file. Well, I can change it to a Python file so that I can. So this is now going to be .json. I've never actually like made JSON. JSON is .json. I mean, I'm assuming this is correct because what's the problem in this file, baby? Oh, it's going to be because there's how do you write comments in, and we can ask, we'll save the tougher questions for Claude because Chippity Jippity is not quite as smart as Claude is. So we want to save those really tough programming questions. But for simple questions, I'll ask ChatGPT. We'll say file save extension for JSON is .json, and then also how to write comments in JSON file. It's okay to speak like a caveman to ChatGPT because to ChatGPT we are cavemen. I'm a caveman compared to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is basically like Dr. Manhattan, and I'm like fucking Ozzy. I'm not even Ozymandias. I'm like Night Owl or whatever his name is. You know. Anyway, ChatGPT doesn't want to answer me right now. Apparently he doesn't like it when you talk to him like a caveman. Okay, well, what about Gemini, baby? Is Gemini offline or something? What happened to Gemini? Ooh, Funk Tools. I haven't asked Gemini a question in a hot minute, baby. So JSON file extension is .json, and then how to write comments in JSON file. Okay, so Gemini is working. ChatGPT is like, no, not today, baby. You're absolutely correct. The file extension for JSON, JavaScript object notation files is JSON. I didn't even know that about JSON. I didn't know that JSON stood for JavaScript object notation. Now I know. So anyway. However, unlike many other file formats, JSON does not natively support comments. Ooh. This is a deliberate design choice to keep the format simple and easily parsable by machines. If you need to include comments in JSON file for human readability, here are some common workarounds. Use a preprocessor or build step. You can use a preprocessor or a build step to strip out comments before parsing the JSON data. This allows you to include comments. Whoa. Yeah, baby. This allows you to include comments in a separate file or using a different syntax that is then converted to valid JSON. Okay, I can see. Swish. I understand. Use a different file format. If comments are essential, you might consider using a different file format that supports them, such as YAML or JSON with a custom extension. Extension with comment support. Some text editors and IDs have features that allow you to add comments to JSON files even though they are not part of the JSON syntax. These comments are typically ignored when parsers. Add a underscore comment key. You can add a underscore comment JSON objects to include comments. Ah, okay, that's cool, clever. This is a common practice. It's important to remember that these comments are not part of the actual data. No verification process. For example, comment keys using include comment are not part of the actual data. Or to choose the approach that best suits your needs. Like if you accessed underscore comment, it would return it. It's not like JSON doesn't ignore. Does JSON itself internally ignore keys? that start with underscore, or would you just not use the key to ignore it? On a very important point about how JSON is interpreted, JSON itself does not internally ignore keys that start with underscore. Syntax JSON. There's no rule. Just keys are not ignored. Okay, JSON parser, standard JSON parsers, the code that reads and interprets JSON data will parse and recognize keys starting with underscore, just like a key. And then, so if you have a JSON object like this, there's a comment. A JSON parser will create a data structure using a dictionary object that contains the comment key value pair and the key value pair. The convention of using keys starting with underscores to represent comments or metadata is purely a matter of practice, and convention is a way for developers to include information that is meant for human readers but should not be treated as actual data by applications. Here's how it works in practice. Developers written code that processes JSON data. Developers can choose to explicitly ignore part. This is done by adding logic to the code that checks for the presence of an underscore at the beginning of a key. Applications that consume JSON data can also begin. Okay, I see. Gotcha. So it's it's just a programmer's convention. It's a trick of the trade, if you will. So, alright, yeah. So this is what we gotta do now. We gotta structure our JSON. So we're gonna put some here. Oh man, why'd you go way up there? Whoa. Alright, so let's create our dictionary here in JSON. And there we go. Alright, so it's double quotes. It doesn't have to be double quotes. Can you use double quotes, or does it have, or can you use single quotes, or does it have to be double, baby? DBL, like double cheeseburger. In standard JSON, key string values must be enclosed in double quotes. Single quotes are not valid in JSON. Blasphemy. So we have to use double quotes. Okay. Oh man. All right, so we're basically gonna convert this to JSON. Bam. We could actually have a key called the metadata underscore metadata, and then we can say metadata comment, or just file comment underscore file comment, whatever. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I know what it is. I guess it's nice though to have that. So I guess let's just do that first. We'll just say underscore file comment. Right? Is there anything wrong with that? And keys and string values must be, so key and string, I've never used JSON before, so key and string have to both be enclosed with double quotes, guys. Both of them. So our file comment would basically just say this, bam. Which one's that? The client side, so I guess we'll remove the pound, which designated it as a comment in Python. And now we have to put a comma, right? And then I guess we don't need a double space between them. We can just use single space. Should we single space or double space between key val pairs, baby? The JSON specification itself doesn't force any specific space when you keep a very JSON parsers ignore most white spaces, space to have new lines between structural elements like curly braces, colon, comments. Both of these are valid JSON. So yeah. However, for human readability and maintainability, it is strongly recommended to use consistent spacing and indentation. A common and widely accepted style is to put a single space after the colon key value. Use indentation, usually 2 or 4 spaces, to nest objects and arrays. Obviously, you're going to use 4 instead of 2. Duh. I mean, I know there are lots of people who really like 2 instead of 4. I don't know, maybe 2 is better. I'm just used to 4. It kind of gets like confusing. Like 2 isn't enough for my eyes to really distinguish, you know? Maybe that's just me. Tools and formatters. Many text editors, IDs, and online JSON formatters can automatically format JSON to a consistent, readable style. These tools can save you a lot of time and effort, especially when working with large JSON files and summary parsers don't care about extra white space, readability. Yeah. All right. Blah blah blah. Long story short, this this file is the client side save file. Would you say client side save file? I mean, that's should be good, I think. And there we go. Now we have we'll put a space between that one, and basically now we're just gonna be moving each one of these, and we'll do 4 spaces, and we're going to be creating the key like this, and then the val is gonna be none, and initially set to none. So we can add an inline comment like this, initially set to none, to signify that no ID has been assigned to this client yet. So what we'll have to do is add inline comment has another, I don't know. Like, we'll say comments, and then the comment will be whatever, and then we'll have that. This will be the inline comment. Y'all feel? You feel what I'm saying here, dog? Do y'all feel? I feel what I'm saying. And then this now is gonna be the actual comment. Bam, like that. Underscore comment. I don't like the red, the squiggly. It's giving me anxiety. Go away. Oh, because we comma, baby. There we go. So we should probably just put our commas like immediately. Basically just like bam, and then bam, and then bam, and then the comma. So like we have all of our stuff right there. And we'll just put space between. Okay, so we have the unique save file client ID. And we can like indent this to be, you know what I mean? A nested, you feel what I'm saying? Does this make sense? Or should I put it above, just like I do? I don't know. I guess we could just do it above, like this. So that when it says below line, it's actually, like, you know, below line, as opposed to this would just, I mean, we could do it like this. I don't like that though. How about this? We'll tab this and tab that. That's better. So now we have our next one, which is gonna be well, this. So we're gonna move this. Start game local remote. So let's do this, baby. Bam, 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 bam. So put this right here. Gonna be deleted. This is gonna be deleted. It's gonna be the key. Now we're gonna have the initial val which is gonna be right here. We're not gonna put equal, it's just gonna be, okay. And yeah, you know, I do notice that about JSON. The double quotes, it's distracting. I would much rather use single quotes because this makes it hard for me to read it. Like, reading this is, I don't know how to describe it. It's painful. It's like very distracting. It's like looking at Rorschach fucking cards. You feel? All right, so we initially, let's get rid of the pound here. So we have okay, there we go. So this is correct. Now we can actually copy this format here, baby, and we'll go down here and do like so. I'm gonna put this above it. We gotta put our comma, load at the end. So now we have the comments. Why does it have yellow? Is there something wrong with the notation? That doesn't actually change it. Is it because we use underscore? It is. Really? Huh. Why is that? Oh. Maybe it means something. Oh yeah, our extensions, maybe. We forgot to restart our git lens, so we need to restart it to get cracking. How are we gonna get cracking with our git lens if we don't have the extension updated, maybe? Color. Oh, I didn't even notice. Oh, I didn't even notice. It's because I'm a dumbass. Alright. There we go. Now we got below line comment created type string to precision look at remote game. And should any of this be changed, let's review it. So we have this file as the client side save file. Comment for unique save file client ID, which is set to none. We say comment created 12/30/24. Type is none / int. Purpose to store the unique ID of the client for DC and reconnects. Specifically determine whether to born of two for proper data structure assignments. Yay. And that's set to none. Then we have inline comment which says initially set to none to signify that no ID has been assigned to this client yet. Oh, and we could actually even like we could make it an inline comment like this. You feel? I like that actually. Yay. But it should be underscore because it should start with underscore, right? Yay. Alright, so then we have the next one, which is the comment for started game local or remote, which below line comment created 1825 type string. Purpose to signify whether the started game associated with the game ID is a local / remote game to bypass having to ask this question in case of reconnecting. If we allow them to choose local whenever it was actually remote, they would errantly be connected to the local machine. True that, IGGY. Yeah, it's true. Now, if we go to the next one, dog, we're gonna tab in, bam, 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 double quotes, over, comma, space, don't forget your space. And how about we just do this? How about we just put some of those in there, baby? Because you know they're gonna be used, right? Yeah. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Paste it in. Right. Get rid of the game ID. Bring it up here. Okay. Then we have our comments. Yay. There we go. get rid of the pound signs. Okay, and game ID is set to none initially. It's just gonna be none, not equals none. And what is this? Okay, we got 12 minutes left. I think we can finish this JSON file, and then I'm gonna go to the gym. And it's heavy bag day, and I don't want to because I'm just so tired. When I tell you I don't want to, I really mean I don't wanna. Oh well, you gotta do it. You gotta do it, big homie. Takes no days off here. How else am I gonna be able to eat these cookies that I made without feeling like a fat ass if I didn't go to the gym to justify being able to eat those cookies? Alright. What is this? Initially set to none, so this is an inline comment. Initially set to none signify that no game has been started for this colony. So if this value is equal to none, we know it is not a reconnect. True. And I think we debated about that a little bit, but I think we came to the conclusion that the debate was settled, and we are indeed going to probably use this data structure for that purpose and not some like slightly related data structure to accomplish the same purpose under a different namespace. So this should not be indented right there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, because I messed this up here. This should be one level up. So now we're down to CS checkpoint ID, and this might go bye-bye. We might not be using the checkpoint ID. I think we probably will, but we might not. It's for debate right now. So we're gonna I got a different method here. Let's paste it, and then paste it, and then we can just remove this, and then we can remove this. Is that faster? I feel like that was better. So we have CS checkpoint ID set to 0, and now we have our comment. So we might not use this, and then we're just gonna copy this and get rid of those colons, and then indent that bad boy in. Go back over here, double quote, comma. We got comment below line. Update 1725. Might not use this. Still kind of planning final system form. Comment created 12/30/24. Type int purpose used in client pi to keep track of game progression via checkpoint ID system. It will start at 0, 1 and increment every time. Well, this is kind of important. Which one to start at? Which? Oh, I hit caps lock. That was the button that I hit, and when I was like, "What button did I hit?" I felt like I did something wrong. Maybe not then, but I hit it at some point. And increment every time it reaches the next section of code. This code is to be divided into small sections that can be easily, logically managed for usage in data restoration during DC and central reconnects. This code is to be divided into small sections. Yeah, so like that's up for debate right now. Okay, and then learn more about JSON. Determine if you need a dictionary or something to convert saved data into plain English or readable Python. Yeah, we've learned about that as of now. Will it let me? I don't know if it'll let me just like have these, you know, chilling right here, like so. I mean, we could just give them placeholders. We could just do it like that. Placeholder. What did you say? Placeholder, placeholder. And then we would just go wham, bam, and then we could just go multiplicity, baby. We could just go wham, bam, whoa, and yeah. So we just got some placeholders for some future data. Anyway, there we go. So we have our file comment, we have the comment for save file client ID, our inline comments. Yeah, so all this I think should like be fine as far as the syntax for JSON. It's relatively simple, right? It's just dictionary syntax, but you have to use double quotations. Okay, and JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. I think, yeah. Yep, JavaScript object notation. Okay, and then yeah, we saved it as a JSON, so that's actually correct. Okay, cool. So that part is done. Let's go over here, and so now we can do the JSON thing. All this stuff that we were gonna do with the save file, we're gonna do it differently. So this is not gonna be called csavefile.pkl. It's just gonna be called .json. We would probably still need the current directory and the save file and all that, as we previously did. Is reconnect equal to none if os path get size save file, blah, 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 blah. We have os path get size save file is equal to 0. So if the save file is empty, well then we need to get the game ID from server side. This is a McDonald's, baby. There's no server size. There's no side of fries on the server size. Add the game. Question mark. What are we adding here? We don't even know. We don't even know, dude. So we need to get the game ID from the server side. Why would we do that? Well, because if the save file is empty, then that means we haven't saved the game ID, which means we haven't gotten the game ID, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Or, well, it probably means we haven't requested the save, the game ID. Technically, we've requested it and not have received it, but either way, we would still need to get it again, right? Yeah. Okay, so because if it's not saved, then we would have to get it again. Yeah, feel? You feel me on that one, babe? Get the game ID from sys, and then we would. Well, how would we do this exactly? So this needs to be like a function. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be a function, but we need this to happen. But how do we do that? Because we're not connected yet. Yeah, that's the question, right? Is how do we do this before we are actually connected? Because at this point, we're not actually connected. Is that not true, baby? How do we do this before we're actually connected? Get the game ID from SS. How do we do this before we're actually connected? Because we don't connect until here. yeah, I don't want to like. I'm gonna move on from that question, and I feel like the overall structure of this is probably gonna continue to morph a little bit, and I don't want to like write code that go far down a rabbit hole that's just gonna like get filled. We're just gonna fill that rabbit hole in. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still working on the surface. We're still moving our rabbit holes around, so I don't want to go dig deep into a rabbit hole and then have the rabbit hole just not be there anymore. It'd just be wasted. So the pseudocode for loading in the save file offset dictionary. Okay, so we're not gonna have the save file offset dictionary anymore, first off, so we can actually go here and, well, I thought we saved that, but apparently we did. So I was wrong. Let's see. Come on, let's go. Oh yeah, and I will keep it, I suppose. And I put the note to it describing what it does, and a note that JSON is faster than shelf. So we'll put this as JSON, well, JSON versus shelf, and we call this pickle library. Pickle dict access library, and we forgot our dash here. Reminder that JSON is way faster, and we're talking like 10x faster than shelf. The library, the pickle library that wraps pickle to allow it to have picked style access like JSON does. So, yeah. AKA don't use JSON instead. Simple. Alright, so moving forward. Let's just close this. Okay, we got 40 seconds left, baby, for our 68 minutes. And then we're going to the gym. So we should go for loading in the save file offset dictionary. Okay, so yeah, we're getting rid of the, where is it? Where is it? Right here. Yeah, this. So we're not doing this anymore. We are not loading that in. Bam. So we get rid of it. All of it. And then we have pseudocode for determining which options are available for choosing the game type reconnect start new game. Right. And I'm just going to go ahead and call it quits here. And we're going to go to the gym and do our punching thing, and then do some more caffeine and get back on the ball. So we can do some thing, hopefully with a little bit more energy, because I'm feeling lethargic here. So I just want to finish this last little review. So we have save file string current directory, we have save file. Okay, that's all fine. I don't think I'm going to change any of that. We have is reconnect, which, I mean, technically we could save that, and you know what I'm saying? Technically we could save that. Is it that important? Not really. Like, well, no, we don't need to save as reconnect, I don't think. And we have, if OS path get size of the save file is equal to 0, that means save file is empty. But the save file is not empty. It is never empty, because we're not using a pickle file, we're not using JSON, which is, it's actually pre-populated. So we actually can't use this. So this, yeah, this is all got to be reworked because of the fact that we're not going to be using pickle anymore. I say all, it was like 4 lines code. Pseudocode for determining which options are available for choosing game type, whether it's a reconnect or start new game. So this is a big deal for us. If is reconnect is equal to false, means client can only start new game. Okay, so now we have to figure out a new methodology. Figure out way to determine whether this is a reconnect or not, to determine which options are available. And I mean, we could make available. Figure out a way to determine whether it's a reconnect or not, determine which options are available. And we could make both options available, just that when you clicked them, and let's say like, I think it would be easier. I think it would be simpler / easier to allow to always click the reconnect option, but make it such that, well, no, actually, because all we do is we use a multiple choice function. It's actually really easy, you know? Yeah, so, yeah, I think that's so easy, I wouldn't change that. We could... I guess the only thing that we could rely on is the original would be to check the... would probably be accomplished via the game ID check as originally proposed. Yeah. Then we would determine which options are available. So instead of checking if is reconnect, wouldn't we just like instead say we would change this to be if, well, then we would loaded in game ID from JSON file is equal to none, means we never don't have a game ID saved to the save file, therefore means we haven't, means this isn't reconnect. Yeah, very straightforward. And then we have the elif loaded in game ID from JSON file is equal to, and this is even more straightforward. So we need to load in game ID from JSON save file. Yay. So then we'll say, we'll just change this to actual game ID. So then we would say game ID equals, and if game ID is equal to, we would just say game ID is equal to none. We don't use the is keyword. If game ID is equal to none, means we don't have a game ID. Yes, we get rid of that. And then we'd have elif game ID is not equal to none. Then means client can start new game or reconnect to previously started game. Yeah, there we go. That's really easy, honestly. That's so simple. Um, so we don't actually need is reconnect at all. So we can just use even less code. See if save files populate. See, so we don't do that anymore. Have to attempt this load to be able to. Yeah, we don't need that. That's gone. That's changed. So we have this beginning section. Get rid of this. So there we go. We're cleaning everything up here. It's starting to look more fleshed out and simpler. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward stuff here. And next thing would be, and this will be the last thing we do, is a syntax for loading in a JSON object, JSON save file into Python file. So it's anyway, so import JSON. Oh, we didn't import JSON. We have to do that. So we'll go up to the top here and do import JSON back to 328. And let's change this. Okay. And need a function, bro. I just mean like, so with open, where are we at? Okay. So this is going to be accomplished. I think so. Say with open, and then we have the file path or file. So yeah, that's actually the save file path. You dig? I knew there was something wrong with that. Like, that's not the actual save file. I couldn't figure out the word, the phraseology. So with open save file path, and then R. We don't use RB because it's not in bytes because it's not pickle. And we can just say as save file. Bam. Then we do load the JSON. But we want to access by specific key. How do we access by specific key? Okay. How to access via specific key from Python. Whoa, man, what happened? I don't know, man, I don't know what happened there. Let's try that again. How to access JSON object via key from Python file. You can access it just like load JSON. Oh, you have to load the entire. You have to load the entire file. JSON data from file. Okay, gotcha. Open data that returned that, and then loading from a string. JSON data string equals JSON load JSON string. Okay, right. It's an entire. Okay. Gotcha. So now we have save data equals JSON dot load and then save file, right? And then we would do well. We still have like. Do we need to? I mean, at this point, save data is saved like locally through Python, right? It's not. We don't still have to access it using the save data equal JSON load. Like we don't have to use it within the context manager anymore, right? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll put the note here. Do we have to continue to operate within context manager? Sure. But then we would do the game ID line, which would be game ID equals save data, and then at the game ID key. Bam. So very straightforward, and then that's going to go over here, and it's going to grab that bad boy, and it should return none. Okay, cool. This grabs the dict val from this save file or game ID key. Yep. Very straightforward. Easy. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna stop there. Yeah, so we got that figured out. Good deal. So now let's go over here and let's devlog this. So we went from 1205 to 1254. So we did 1133 to 1254, and that was 1 hour and basically 15 minutes. A little bit over that, but who cares? 1.25. I usually give myself a little bit extra, but this time I taketh away. I giveth and I taketh away the time that I record in my devlog. So now we can say from 12:05 to 12:54 we began implementation, that's my word, of JSON save file conversion and initial logic in client refactor.py to finalize the beginning section of the refactored client script to accommodate the save system, whatever I guess that we call it, save system. Yeah, all right, so that's it. We're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna go work out. Today's heavy bag day. Oh god, I'm so tired, bro. Oh, holy hell, bro, I gotta pop some more caffeine because I'm just actually dead right now, dude. I'm so dead. Okay, guys, so we're gonna be strong. We're going to the gym. We're gonna do the thing. We're gonna come back, and then we're going to do some more coding for sure. I have a big problem that I'm trying to take care of. I got shipped a motorcycle, and I can't get it registered because they didn't ship it through customs correctly. They did some fucking loophole shit. They shipped it as like a fucking mountain bike. It's not a fucking mountain bike. It's not a mountain bike. It's a vehicle. They didn't do it right, so now I have to figure out how to get it correctly registered. And I actually don't want to think about it because anyway, we'll figure it out, hopefully. Alright, peace. See you later. Be back in an hour, 2 hours.